Hello, amazing people. Welcome and let's solve this amazing question together. We got a lot of reactions to this, so let's correct it together so that you will learn. Okay. Now, this is still on the topic mensuration. And when you look at this shape, it's a pencil shape. Okay. And we are asked to calculate volume. Now, what do we mean by volume? I'm going to tell you. When you talk about volume, you talk about the amount of space that any solid shape occupies inside. Okay, the space it occupies inside is what we call volume for three-dimensional. For two-dimensional, we call it area. I hope this is clear now. Now, how do we calculate the volume? Now, remember, when you see this shape, it reminds you of what we call the composite or the compound shape. Compound means when you have two or more shapes that are joined together to be one. Because if you look at this, you'll notice that this shape is the same as this. If you split it, you are going to have this, which is the first, the cap. Okay, then you are going to also have this, the below one. Just watch. You're going to also have this. I hope you can see it. So you see that it is these two that are joined together to form this pencil. So what does it mean to calculate the volume? It means you're going to calculate the volume of this. And what shape does this remind you of? It reminds you of cone, okay? And this one reminds you of cylinder. So you need to calculate the volume of this and this. I hope this is clear. Now, how do we calculate the volume of a cone? Now, the volume of a cone shares the same volume with pyramids. Okay, and in that case, we say that for volume of a cone, the formula is 1/3 multiplied by the base area. The base is circle, so the area of it will be pi r squared. Okay, so it will be 1/3 pi r squared, then multiplied by the height. This becomes the height of this cone. I hope this is clear. So you multiply by this. Now, that is for the volume of your cone. Then for volume of your cylinder, the cylinder is a prism because it's a special kind of prism because the top and the bottom are equal in size. So we are going to use the formula for volume of prism, which is base area. The base is circular, so it will be base area times the height. I hope this is clear. So this is the height. You multiply it by the base area, which is also pi r squared. I hope this is clear. So it's going to give us the base area is pi r squared multiplied by the height. So when we get these two, add them together, it's going to give us the volume of this particular shape. Now let's take the first one. Let's get the volume of the cylinder. So to do that, we are going to, remember the question said live in terms of pi. So we're taking this off. So we're going to now have, for the volume of cylinder, what do you have? Volume of cylinder will give us, this is pi. We are leaving it in terms of pi. What is the radius? Remember, what you are given here is diameter. Diameter is that line that divides the circle into two equal parts from one point of the circumference to the other. And that is what you are given. So in this case, to get the radius, which is half, you are going to divide it by 2. So this is the one we want to find. That's from here to this is what we want. And if from here to here is 6, this half of it will be 3 centimeters. And that is our what? Our radius. I hope this is clear. So our radius is going to be 3. Please take note of it so that I don't work with 6. Okay. Then 3 squared. So it's going to be 3 squared times, what is the height? You see that the height of this shape is from here to here. Okay. Which gave us what? 6. So this is what we have. So let's multiply it. We are going to have 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. And 9 multiplied 6 will give us 54. So we now say that the volume of the cylinder is equal to 54 pi. Did you see it? So let's leave this. Let's get that of the cone. Now, to get the one of the cone, what do we use? The formula is this. So you need to know the radius of the cone. The radius of the cone is the same thing as the radius of the cylinder, because you see that part of this is in the cone. So you see that the radius of this cone is going to be 3. Now, do you know the height of the cone? See the height of the cone. The height is different from the slant height. This one is what we call the slant height, the one that is leaning on the side of the cone. So, but what we need to use is the normal height, the perpendicular height. So how do you get that height? That is the question. Now I'm going to show you what to do. To get this height, we are going to remind ourselves of one thing that is very important. And what is that thing? If you look at this cone, or let's take it from here, you will notice that this from here to here is your radius, okay? Then this from here to here is the same thing with this height. Did you see it? So this is your height. So here is 3. And this slant height given on the cone is given as what? 5. So let's label it 5. Did you see it now? So what does it remind you of? You now see that when you have this, it reminds you of a right angle triangle. Watch, this is what you have. Okay, let's write it out there. So this is what we're having. We have a shape like this. Did you see it? So in that shape, you will see that here is 3, this side is 5, and this is the height. So we don't know this. This has formed the right angle triangle. So what do we make use of? You make use of your Pythagorean's theorem. Why? You use Pythagorean's theorem when you are working with right angle triangles and you are given 2 sides to find the remaining side. And what does the theorem say? Let me remind you. It says that this side, which is the longest side, the square of it, so we're going to have, using our Pythagorean's theorem, we now have it that 5 squared is equal to the square of this plus the square of this. That's what the rule says. So it becomes h squared plus 3 squared. So you simplify it. So if you simplify it, you are going to now, so we can take this off now. So if you simplify it, you are going to have, this is going to give us 5 squared. This is 3 squared. So because it's positive, take it to the other side, becomes negative 3 squared is equal to h squared. 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. And 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay, subtract this, you have 16. Then it means that h squared is equal to 16. So what do you do now? We are now going to say that our h is going to be the square root of 16. And what is the square root of 16? 4. So it means that the height to use here is what? 4. So if the height is 4, can we now find the volume of this cone? Yes. Now to find the volume of cone, we now remember what you've said on the formula, that the volume of cone is 1/3 times pi r squared h. So we're going to have 1/3 times, we are living in terms of pi, then our radius is what? 3. Okay, so it becomes 3 squared. Our height is 4. Please don't make the mistake of using 5. That was the error most of the people made in their workings. So that's why we want to do it together. Okay, some of them were using 5 as the height of the cone. Please, this is not the height, this is the slant height. The main height is what we have found using the Pythagorean's theorem. I hope this is cleared. So in that case, we are going to simplify this to give us 1/3 times pi. 3 squared is 3 times 3, giving us 9 times 4. So this we cancel, we have 3. So we are going to have, this will give us 12 pi as the volume of a cone. So now we've gotten the volume of cone, then let's get the total volume of this shape. The total volume will now be what? The volume of our cylinder, which is 54 pi, okay, plus the volume of cone, which is 12 pi. Now let's add these two together. If you add it together, you're going to have this is 66 pi, and that is the total volume of this particular shape. But remember, you have to put it in the cubic units, so it's going to be cubic centimeter as our answer. Now, if the question wants you to use pi value, you will use the one given in the question to get your final answer. And I hope this helps you a lot. Let's know how much in the comment. It helps us to serve you best. Please help us to share